Hello, movie fans. Today, I will explain a 2007 horror drama film called Body. Let's jump to the explanation. The movie starts with the scene of blood floating on the floor and a black cat searching for something besides a dead human body. A man was cutting into pieces the body with a knife. It was a hallucination of a young boy with long hair enjoying music at opera hall. He woke up and looked around. There were some marks on his hand, but it disappeared suddenly. He went outside and asked for a cigarette from someone, but there was none. He found a jacket and stood at the main gate of the hall. Everybody was leaving because the show ended. Then he went to his house in a taxi. He paid the rent from the wallet that he found on the jacket. He was watching TV in his house and was very thirsty. He took out his garbage and left it outside. Curious, he looked at the garbage and saw a little child with blood on his body screaming. He was scared and ran to his house, but the electricity disappeared. He was sitting on the sofa and suddenly saw a black cat with a human hand in its mouth. He shook his head and realized it was all his hallucination. Next, we see a woman waking up his husband, asking him about his work, and leaving the room. The woman was a doctor and worked in a psychotherapy center. There she was, talking about a little girl with her mother. Then the doctor opened the TV and recorded the little girl's interview. The little girl had a problem with an imaginary friend named Toto. She also said Toto killed their pet dog, Talk, and buried him in the garden. Toto did it because if Talk were alive, her mom would love him more than the little girl. Her mom was crying to hear this, and they left the hospital. Then the doctor's cell phone rang, and it was his husband, Dr. Southey, asking her about his wallet. She told him to search in his hospital. Then Southey searched his wallet in his office, and Dr. Jib arrived there. Southey asked Jib about all the students and warned him about his dress. At the operation theater, medical students were examining human dead bodies, and Jib was monitoring them. A group of students were monitoring a dead body's hand. Suddenly, a boy pulled the hand to scare the rest of us. Southey became angry and asked Jib about the boy's name in his chamber. Southey warned Jib not to be friendly with the students and cut down the boy's mark for his behavior. Jib asked Southey about Dr. USA. Southey replied she was fine. Then again, I asked about Professor Durai, because students needed her signature. This time, Southey did not answer. Afterward, the young boy, Chan, asked about her night duty time to A. A wanted to scare Chan for fun purposes. They were making meals. Chan asked A about the car that was parked outside. He said it is the house owner's and she drives it sometimes. Chan wanted to meet him, but he said he was busy and he comes here often. A suddenly asked Chan if he was all right because he had put a rice cooker in the fridge. A told Chan to cut shrimp. Chan said he didn't want to do sin like medical students because he was an engineering student. This time, Chan was hallucinating about blood and cut his finger. A washed his hands and searched for needles and nylon in the hospital. She also told him not to tell anyone that he was with her. But a nurse found Chan and took him to Jib. Jib bandaged his finger and asked about how he cut his finger. Chan said the shrimp took revenge by cutting his finger because they were alive while he cut them. Jib was astonished to hear this and examined him more. Then Jib asked Chan if he had a problem with insomnia or hallucinations. Chan said he can't remember. Jib then called a psychiatrist and told Chan to talk with her. Chan refused because he only just cut his finger and did not do anything wrong. Chan left the hospital, and Jib gave him a card. Chan and A were returning home, and Chan asked A why she didn't have any medical instruments in her house even though she was a medical student. She was told that if she were caught carrying medical instruments outside hospitals, she would be fired. A showed the card, and there was USA's number on it. A asked Chan what was wrong with him. Chan then told her about his nightmare. In the house, A told Chan to contact with USA. Chan was disappointed and removed his bandage in anger. A told him she cared about him and he was the only person she had in the world. It was found that they were sister and brother. Chan was dreaming again about cutting off a dead body. He woke up and saw a fetus coming to him and went under his bed. He then looked down under his bed but saw nothing. Then he looked in front and saw a ghost of a woman, and the ghost was hurting him by choking his throat. Chan also fought back and choked her throat.
Suddenly, he found that he was choking A's throat.
The next morning, Sean went to Dr. USA and again borrowed money from the wallet that was found in the jacket. First, USA gave him a glass of water and then asked what was wrong with him. Sean said he was having a dream every time about the murder of a woman where the body was cut into pieces, and he felt like the woman wanted him to do something. She wanted him to find her, and her name was Dararai. USA then took some photos of Sean and told him she would contact him later, and Sean left the palace. Sean and A was coming back to home. Sean told A he would not go to Dr. USA again because she did not give him any medicine or treatment. In the next scene, USA calls Jib and tells him everything and mentions the name Dararai. Jib said he didn't know Dararai's suspicion and he would talk with her later. At night, USA searched the name Dararai on Google and found she was also a doctor at both Jib's and Suthi's hospital. Sean was dreaming again. This time, he was reading a medical book, and his body turned into a skeleton. He woke up and saw marks on his hand and suddenly disappeared. He was again dreaming. There he saw a man carrying a woman, and there was the name Dr. Dararai on the woman's apron. He also saw a ring that was left behind in a medical room. A told Sean it was his hallucination, and Sean said he would bring evidence to prove all these things. The next day, USA went to the hospital and searched for Dararai. She talked with Dararai's teaching assistant. Dararai was a specialist in hypnosis. The assistant described how she punished a girl who used a cell phone in class. Dararai hypnotized her with her bad childhood memories, and the girl started crying and left the class. Students used to call Dararai a witch, and students always wanted to withdraw from her course. Everyone came to the assistant to ask where Dararai was. She was a tutorial lecturer. So, there was no personal address of Dararai on the register board. It was Suthi who brought her to the hospital. Later, Sean went to the hospital to look at Dararai and saw the black cat in her room. The male assistant told him she was absent today. At night, USA and Suthi were eating dinner with their little girl. USA was angry because their girl was playing with the food, and told her to go for brushing her teeth. Then she told Suthi she went to his hospital for her patient. There, she met with Dararai's assistant. Suddenly, a concert show started on TV that they had enjoyed together at the opera hall a few days ago. In the next scene, Dararai's assistant was about to leave when she saw a black cat passing beside her. She followed the cat to get it out of the hospital and went to the zoological museum. Then, a few paranormal things happened. Suddenly, the ghost arrived before her and tied her body with barbed wire. Sean was watching these, and the ghost looked at her. Then Sean woke up and started vomiting. The next morning, USA was looking for Suthi at their house, but Suthi had not been in the house since yesterday. After that, USA went to her hospital and saw the news of the death of Dararai's assistant on the TV. She was killed by barbed wire in the museum. Sean is watching the news on the TV. USA phoned Jib and asked if it was an accident or murder. Jib said it would be known after the investigation. Sean went to the hospital and dressed like a forensic doctor. After that, Sean went to the morgue. There, he saw the dead body of the assistant. It was just like he dreamed of last night. Later, Sean went to a temple and watered some plants. Sean told A in the car that it was murder, not an accident. It was his fault because he involved her and didn't know how to satisfy Dararai. Then Sean went out and screamed in the rain. After that, USA met Jib and saw the dead body. Jib told USA that he doesn't tell her anything because he doesn't want to be involved in their family matters. Sean called USA, but her assistant picked up the phone and told him that USA was now in her husband's hospital. Sean went there, but USA had already left. Then Sean met Jib and saw the black cat beside her. Sean told Jib if he knew about Dararai, then he would not tell anyone. Otherwise, he would be the next victim like the assistant. USA came home and saw Suthi was sitting with their daughter. USA was crying, and Suthi asked the reason. USA told about the affair between Suthi and Dararai. Suthi embraced USA and told him there was none to come between them. That night, Sean again saw the fetus on his meal. Then he was showering and dreaming about the ghost that appeared on the TV and told him to find her. Sean was begging her not to kill anyone. Later, Sean watched Jibs walking on the TV. Jib was walking in the hospital corridor. Suddenly, I saw the black cat eating blood. He went near the cat and saw the ghost overhead. There, he was drowning in the blood. Suddenly, the blood turned into acid.
In the next scene, Sean wakes up and calls A to go to the hospital. Suddenly, he noticed the black cat and followed it. He appeared before a room's door, and there was a man cutting a woman dead. Then Sean saw that the body was A's, and he was cutting A's dead body.
After that, someone pushed him into the room. The ghost told him to find her. Otherwise, it would happen to him. Sean was screaming to hear this. Sean found the ring on the floor. USA got a phone call and came to the hospital. There, she saw the dead body of Jib. The police said Jib was found in a pool of strong acid. They also found a visiting card that has USA's name and number written on it. In that room, Sean found a burning photograph of Darurai and Suthi. Later, he found that the jacket was also Suthi's. There were his visiting card and family photos of Suthi and USA in the wallet. USA came to her house and went to the room. Sean called USA to meet with her. USA did not want to talk with her. If he called again, she would call the police. Sean then got out of his car and saw USA's little girl and housemate standing in their house. Sean then started to run and break through the house and search for them. They both were hiding on the Almira. After that, Sean met with USA. USA was searching for her daughter. Sean stopped her and wanted to tell him the truth. Sean said Suthi killed Darurai because she was blackmailing her with their relationship photos. Suthi also killed Jib and the assistant. Sean was telling USA because A was with USA's husband. Sean wanted to know where Suthi was to save his sister. Then, USA said his older sister was dead. He killed her. He killed Dr. Jib and the assistant. He killed Darurai. Also, he is not Sean. USA gives Sean the drawer number of his body in the morgue. Then suddenly, the ghost arrived before him and wanted to hurt him, but Sean hit the ghost with a rod, and USA's daughter screamed. In the next scene, Sean comes to the morgue, opens the coffin, and sees that Sean's dead body is there. It was revealed that the person we know as Sean was Suthi. The real Sean died in a car accident, and Darurai was his sister. Darurai told Suthi to keep Sean in the morgue because he was her only family. Later, Suthi came to real life after hallucinating all these. He killed Darurai Jib, the assistant, and later hit Dr. USA. Then, police arrived at the morgue and arrested him. USA survived. In the court, the doctor charged him with the multi-personality disorder. It affects the person by believing that he is another person. He was nobody, just a young girl sitting on the court. The judge ordered treatment of his disease, and the case remained paused. USA was alive, and her daughter met her in the hospital. In the next scene, Suthi and his doctor are going back to the hospital. They wanted to talk with Suthi, but he was unconscious. Suddenly, the driver played a song, and Suthi exited the ambulance and jumped on the street. A truck came suddenly before him and braked properly. But the truck was full of rods, and these came out from the truck and hit his body. It seemed that Darurai knew that Suthi gave her medicine on her drink. But before becoming unconscious, Darurai hypnotized Suthi. Darurai told Suthi that he would remember the beautiful memory with her when he heard a special song. She also hypnotized him to remember, "My name is Darurai. Find me." While cutting Darurai's body, Suthi found a fetus in her belly. Later, Suthi was in the operation theater, and the ghost arrived there, telling him that she had forgiven him and released him from being hypnotized. Then Suthi screamed. That's how the beautiful movie ends. If you like this, please subscribe to our channel, and thanks for watching. Subscribe to our